no double plates at all.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? I am Jimmy Sequence, and I have a few things I want to talk about. First thing, I want to say big up to all of the sound system owners in Jamaica and America, Canada, wherever you are in the world, Africa, wherever you are currently living. I'm going to say big up to all of the reggae dancehall sound system owners, because in real life those are different sound systems and we know it, right? So we have the live PA systems, the people that does sound enforcement for concerts and live shows and whatever, and then you have the dancehall sound systems, which are two completely different animals. Now, the people that own the PA systems, the sound reinforcement that does live PA for bands and artists and whatever, those guys for the most part have a actual business model that they follow that gets them work, and it's actually kind of a lucrative part of the business. Whereas the other side of the business, the dancehall sound system part of the business, I suppose if you're in Jamaica, you can make money from it. There's actually a market in Jamaica, and I would suppose some parts in Europe where your sound systems can actually do well. What I have noticed, and I've noticed this for a very long time actually, in my part of the world, I live in Florida, by the way. If you're watching me from anywhere else and you don't know, Sequence is in Florida. I've been here since I was a kid. I came here from Jamaica when I was around 13, like that. So this is where I am, and what I've noticed is there are a lot of sound systems. I don't have a number to put on it per se, but there are a lot of really big sound systems. Most of them are actually really good playing sound systems, because people are building really high powered systems, because face it, it's not as expensive to build a sound system now as it relates to the power amplifiers. Everything else, the speakers and boxes and all of that, is relatively expensive still. But on the amplifier side, you can build a really high powered system for less than it would have been, say, a couple of years ago. Like if you were to buy or build a power soft or a lab grouping type sound system back in the days, you can build a more powerful system today with less than half of the money that it would have cost you, say, 10 years ago to do it with using PowerSoft or Lab or whatever. So it is less expensive. I wouldn't say it's inexpensive, right? But it's less expensive than it was a couple of years ago. So you have more people now that can afford to build a decent sized sound system that plays extremely well with a lot less money. So there are a lot more sound systems. Do you know what I'm getting at? What I have noticed though, because I started this thing, me and my friend O'Neill from Hot Stepper down here in Florida, we started this thing called the Sound System Roll Call. You guys must have seen, the videos promoting Sound System Roll Call. I've done like a lot of radio interviews. I've posted them on the channel too, promoting the Sound System Roll Call. Initially it started to look like it was going to happen, but it fizzled out. It fizzled out relatively quickly, primarily because people were complaining about the level of the sound system, the bass, too much this, too much that. I understand, because it's an indoor place. Even though it's a fairly big place, eight scoops or eight 18s, because you can do single 18s or double 18s. So if you're using 8 speakers, is really what the maximum was on that event. And even though 8 is not a ridiculous amount of speakers in indoor, if you really have to turn it down. If your system is playing the way it's supposed to, you have to turn it down. So that was the primary complaint. But that is not the reason why Sound System Roll Call didn't take off the way I expected it to. And I'll tell you what I've decided to do later on. But the main reason why Sound System Roll Call did not or isn't booming the way we think it should, because it's been going on for a couple of months. The main reason is because sound system owners, for whatever reason, they love sound system, but the sound systems that exist in Florida, and I'm suspecting it's anywhere in America really, sound systems don't generally have good, popular, prominent DJs on them. And the reason for that, I suppose, is because they're not making any money to pay a prominent DJ. So therefore the sound system is usually owned by an older man, because face it, the younger people can't really afford the sound system like that unless they're doing some kind of hustling. We know how that works. So it's usually owned by older men, and these older men don't have proper DJs on the sound system, which means these sound systems don't have a proper crowd to follow them. So you will have 4 sound systems in a venue, and not one of the sound systems have a crowd. When I say a crowd, they don't have anybody following them except a few friends. You will see the sound systems and the people that help them to bring the sound system to the dance hall, and that's it. Most of the time you won't even see the sound system owner's wife or girlfriend at the event. And we have tried the powered sound, we've tried every kind of sound system, and the fact is none of them have a crowd, period. None of the sound system have a group of people that follow them. Like back in the days, whenever a sequence strings up anywhere, you can be guaranteed a crowd. That's why we used to work consistently, because we had a crowd. We had a lot of women that followed the sound system, and whenever we string up, we have a crowd. It was just guaranteed. So you would have promoters that would call us and book us for dances because they know we're gonna have a crowd. Kind of like what Stone Love and B-Side Odyssey and those guys are doing in Jamaica. We had that here for many, many years, but as you know, things, you grow, you change. We got older, the sound system business changed, especially here in Florida. So now no sound system have a crowd, period. They have the sound system owners that are doing great as PA systems, like Synergy, my boy Chams, big up Chams. Kirky C in Tampa is doing the same. Kirky C is doing PA, so they're doing sound reinforcement. They're doing well because they're established in that part of the business, and there are promoters that are using them because they're efficient enough and people can depend on them, and they know that the systems are going to come and show up and play without breaking down, because that is a problem, right? So those 2 systems, and True Vibe, my cousin, he's doing his thing because he works along with Chams. So, he gets a little work here and there too. But no one is in the dancehall part of the sound system business is doing everything. Anything, I should say. They're not doing anything. Every sound system that strings up, you will have a few sound men show up. And that's it. A few sound men show up. They talk shit. They drink a few beers and they go home. It's never anything that you can say, yo, we're gonna do a thing, and we're gonna have bottles and this and that, and you're gonna make some money. No, it's not gonna happen. Because again, we tried the sound system roll call, which is an excellent concept. It went on for a couple of months, and the vibes is nice and everybody loves the vibe, but in reality, enough people are not showing up for us to just keep spending money to keep this thing going. And again, it's me and O'Neill from Hot Stepper. I have to big up Hot Stepper because nobody else stepped up to the plate. I've always been talking about, yo, we need to do this and we need to do that. And he's the only one that so far has came forward and said, oh, yo, let's do it. And was willing to put some money into the game. Everybody else is just talk. So I'm have to big up O'Neill. See? So anyway, we've been doing it for a couple of months, and it's not really making sense because every event that we keep, we lose money on it. Because there's just not enough people showing up. Because we have to pay for the venue, clearly. We have to pay for everything. We have to pay to advertise. We have to pay, to rent a truck and whatever for the people that don't have trucks. And we're showing up, we're playing music. A few people show up and enjoy it and talk about how good the vibe is, but they're not really looking at the fact that, okay, there's not enough people showing up to make this a feasible business. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you can't even make enough to cover the event, and every time you keep the event you have to end up losing, then there's no real reason to continue doing it. So let me get to the part now where I'm telling you what we have decided to do, and we'll see if this actually changes the game at all, right? So now we're doing 2 sound systems. Instead of 4 sound systems, we're going to do 2 sound systems, and we're going to use more DJs. So it's going to be more focused on DJs that people know. So each event will have 2 sound systems. We'll alternate the sound system just the same. It won't just be sequence and hot stepper. It'll be 2 sound systems. We'll choose from all of the hundreds of sound systems here 2 sound systems, and then we'll try to use at least 4 popular or upcoming DJs that people would want to come and see. That's going to play a variety of music, because again, the sound system owners are older men, and you know they play music, but they're playing music for older men. If you get what I'm saying, they're playing good music, but they're only playing for themselves. They're not playing the music that the young people or the girls and the women would want to come out and listen to. They're playing music for themselves, which means they're playing older music, and they're playing, you know, it's just a lower vibe. See, they're not playing for the general public. In other words, they're not playing music that would have the girls tell their friends that the vibes was nice and we need to check out this event because it's nice. It's music for older men, sound men specifically, because they're very focused on oldies. And you know, granted, I love that music myself. That's my vibe, but I'm sensible enough to know that you can't just play for yourself. If you're trying to build an event, you have to build an event that you can entertain the general public, because that is what it's all about. Ultimately, it's not about pleasing yourself or bigging up the sound man and making the sound man feel good about the fact that they can play old music, because come on. And the fact that the funny thing is, it's not like they're really going into the box and playing some different old music that you don't hear. The only person, and I'll say this with no apology, the only person that plays older music but different than the others is my brother, Byron. Byron Sequence. Byron will play music that you will not hear from anybody else. You get me? He will not just go and play the same playlist that everybody else is playing from. You know, they're playing like it's a recording. Everybody plays the same song. You can actually predict what songs are gonna come after the song, because it's like everybody have one playlist and they just play from that playlist, and that's just it. Byron actually goes into the box and he spins records too. He's not just, you know, he spins records and he's playing songs that you don't hear anyone else play. Straight up. And I'm saying that with no apology. Everybody else, for the most part, is just playing songs, right? Super Vibes is another one that plays some good tunes that you don't hear everybody else playing. See? But again, the songs that they're playing is for us. And I say us meaning me. People like me. Like, we love music. We love vintage music. We love the real thing. See? But we have to understand that we're not playing for ourselves alone. I'm going to say that again. Sound men, generally speaking, all across the world. If you don't have a proper DJ on your sound that people recognize, you will not make any money, because nobody's really coming out to listen to the older men playing old music. Except older men, older sound men, to be honest. See, because the dancehall them, whether it's at a warehouse, whether it's at a venue, if it's a dancehall sound system thing, it's mostly older sound men. See? Sound men, not even them woman, not even them friend. It's most of the men that's into sound system that's showing up to all of the events. Whether it's at a park, it's a warehouse, it's a venue. If it's a dancehall sound system event, it's mostly sound men. And anyone that wants to dispute that can jump into the comments and tell me how wrong I am, because I guarantee you I'm not wrong. I've witnessed it, I've seen it, I've been at most of these events, I've recorded most of these events. If you look back on my channel, you will see dozens of events that I'm like what I'm talking about, and you will see it's a handful of men there. None of these events is packed with women. If you go to Igloo or Chill or Sands or any of those events that Synergy and those guys are playing at, you will literally see thousands of people. Why is that? Because they have DJs that are playing music that people want to hear. They have known DJs that are playing music that entertains the people. They play soca, they play reggae, they play African music, they play hip-hop, they play all kinds of music. They have a different vibe. And if you're trying to do something to attract a crowd, then I would suggest that's what we have to do. So, to finish this little rant or whatever you want to call it, us sound men, if we're trying to do the sound system business, then we have to change how we're doing it. Straight up, we have to change how we're doing it. We have to get proper DJs. We have to invest in proper promotion of whatever events we're doing and try to build it. So again, the new event that we're going to be doing is called Vibe Out Sunday. So we're going to be doing Vibe Out Sunday, which is, generally speaking, 2 sound systems and 4, 5, 6 DJs, whatever. And it's going to be DJs that are known, are upcoming DJs that have a vibe, that can actually play for a crowd. So Vibe Out Sunday. The next one coming up is on the 1st. Sunday the 1st. We have Vibe Out Sunday. We have Express Sound System there. We have City Link Sound System. And then we have DJs. Let me tell you who the DJs are here. Firematic Sound. We have X Squad Sound. DJ Danny and Swaggy. And the Untouchable Crew. Those are the people that's going to be on the first Vibe Out Sunday. That is Sunday the 1st coming up. I think I'm going to do an interview to actually introduce the new event. So sound system roll call as we know it no longer exists. It's not going to be focused on sound system. It's going to be focused on DJs. Sound systems are just going to be, audio by. You feel me? It's not going to be a sound system focused event. We'll have good sound systems there, but it's going to be more about the DJs and the event. Alright? So big up yourself. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I am Jimmy Sequence again, and I will see you on the next video.
Broken-hearted sound boy, toiling in the dance hall. A disappointed sound boy who has no double plates.